Hey guys, Coach LZGlowz here. In today's lesson, we'll learn the bias some maps have and what makes them even for both sides or what makes them cater more to defenders. By the end of this workout, you'll use what you'll learn to take advantage of the map's properties when on the bias side, or to counter them when the enemy team is on the bias side. I also would recommend checking out Angle of Attack 1 after this lesson to get some ideas on how certain angles can help attackers and which angles defenders may hold on defender side of maps. Let's warm up by going into some custom games. Choose Ascent, Bind, Breeze, and Split and spend around 2 to 5 minutes in each one running around and pathing. Ask yourself how long it takes for defenders to rotate from one side to another, and are there any areas you have to worry about for lurkers? How much cover and how many areas can defenders valuably defend the site from? What are the various ways attackers can path the site? Where can they play post plant from? All these questions determine how attacker sided or defender sided each map can be. I first want to preface that this video is based on patch 7.0. Future updates to the maps can potentially change the strengths and weaknesses attackers and defenders face. I also want to mention that the team comp you have, as well as the types of abilities you have at certain points of the match, can change how much bias attackers and defenders face. The first maps I will go over are the maps that are considered to be relatively neutral. The reason for neutrality can include map gimmicks that cater to both sides, providing advantage for both sides like pathing for attackers and site layout for defenders, or relatively safe time for site rotation for both sides. Ascent is probably the most neutral map in Valorant, and possibly one of many people's favorite for this reason. It provides multiple ways to push a site and get map controls for attackers through main and mid. Defenders also have the chance to challenge this control early on by defending mid from tree and bottom mid as well. Site also provides adequate cover and angles for defenders to hold the entrances and site, while still not being overwhelming for attackers to clear and possibly challenge. Retaking for defenders are also giving similar fair pathings attackers have, from being able to enter site from the same mid entrance and a CT entrance that requires a similar amount of angle clearing that the site main entrance requires. Rotation is also very even, for if attackers want to rotate safely through their spawn, it will take longer than defenders, but if they want to beat defenders, they will have to take a risk and path through mid, giving defenders a chance to challenge their rotation. Breeze, similar to Ascent, is very neutral for the opportunities it gives each side. The sites give defenders places to defend the site from, while not being overbearing for attackers to clear or challenge. Rotating is both equally long for both sides, though this may be a slight disadvantage for defenders, since it may take some time to rotate to help the site being attacked. But due to the size of the map, if defenders choose to have flankers through mid and or the attacker's spawn, if attackers try and rotate, they'll have very poor map control. This concept can also be applied to why a lurker for attackers can be strong as well. But overall, Breeze is neutral, for though it's slightly attacker-sided for initial push, if they try to rotate, they may be in a disadvantage due to map control. But because of this open space design, it's not overbearingly difficult to deal with potential lurkers and flankers. Bind is neutral since its gimmick, the teleporters, can be exploited by each side evenly. The ways to attack site and the opportunities to defend site are similar to the previous maps in which they are not overwhelmingly difficult to deal with by either side. Getting key map control spots like Hookah or U-Haul can be difficult without the proper util, which may make it feel defender-sided if you can't get control of these locations. But attackers can quickly rotate to the other side faster than defenders by using the teleporters. This makes the defenders have to carefully consider how many members need to rotate or anchor the other side, making the attackers usually have the numbers advantage whenever they try pushing a site. But defenders can also use the teleporters, mainly the one from A to B, to help stop a push. Throwing flashes and nades through the teleporter can apply chip damage and stall the attacking team. Both sides getting some advantage from the map layout and teleport gimmick is what makes the map overall even. Let's now go over the defense side of maps, or I should say, map. Split is really the only defense side of map in the game. One reason is the rotation time. The time it takes for attackers to rotate safely through their spawn takes much longer than defenders. If attackers want to rotate quickly, they either have to go through sewers, which makes a lot of noise, or try and challenge mid, which is difficult due to all the tight corners and angles. When trying to enter B site, there are many angles or corners that need to be cleared, which can be very overwhelming for attackers. For A site, there are not as many angles or cover, but that also makes it very difficult to defend a spike, since you can't really play post plant off the site on A. Punching a site can be difficult for attackers since there is really only one entrance to get to site. Attackers can try getting through heaven for each site, but they provide enough cover and angles where defenders have the advantage when an attacker tries to peek. Because of this, retaking can be easier for defenders, since usually they will passively have heaven control, not only giving them more map control, but another way to retake site from. The final topic we'll leave with is a brief discussion of attacker side of maps. As you can probably have guessed, the rest of the maps in Valorant, Lotus being the newest, are all attacker sided in some way. Some are much more attacker sided than others, which can be for multiple reasons. This can be because attackers have rotation advantage, site layout support for defenders to hold, or possible passive numbers advantage due to the map having 3 sites. Attacker-sided maps are probably the most frustrating maps to play when defending, and there are many things you will need to know and be aware of to be successful on both sides. But these maps will be covered in the bias of maps too, in which we will go over in-depth map knowledge and counterplay/strategy for attacker-sided maps. With your new knowledge of map bias, let's play a few swift plays. For each map you get, consider what you know about map bias and try to use it to your advantage. If it doesn't work, ask yourself, was it because of your mechanical abilities, util abilities, or was it a team issue? Say on Bind you rotated through Teleporter but you still died to someone on the site you rotated to. Was it because they didn't follow basic strategy and rotated when they usually should? Maybe you teleported too early before they could even try rotating off. Or maybe the majority of the team rotated and they only had one anchor. In that case, you just needed to have the mechanical ability to beat the anchor, plant, and play post-plant. For any map that we did not cover, the attacker side of maps, just try and play confidently when on the attacker side. When defending, try playing aggressive and fighting for site rather than playing for retake. Most attacker side of maps give an advantage in not only taking a site, but playing for post-plant, so you want to try and reduce as many attackers as you can so your team has numbers advantage for retake. Map bias and the theories behind them are all based off of basic strategy. Of course, some biases may not work if the enemy team does not play by the book. Say if the attacking team always rotated through mid and never lost a fight against the defender through their pathing, then the strength of the map gave defenders kinda goes away. That can be blamed since the defenders couldn't hold their own. Overall, map biases are not absolute, and it's best not to let it affect your mental on how well you can perform on either side. But it's still important to keep in mind when creating a plan and to prepare you for how focused you will need to be when executing that plan. I'm Coach LZGlowz. I hope this video helped you out, and I'll see you in the next one.